go to Wyoming, I'll just take him up there. That's all I wanted to do was take him home and bury him.
You want to take him though, huh? You're going to go get him?
I don't want to carry him home. It's actually more like it's a pilgrimage, just part of the process for me. It's something it's the only thing I want from it. You know what I mean? It's like everybody was talking about what they wanted for a funeral and everything and stuff like this. And the only thing I could think about is I just want to take his body home and put him in the ground.
Hey besties, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Thursday, May 8th, 2025. I have some information for you regarding Cody Brown and Robyn Brown and why everyone in the family wants nothing to do with them. At least this is alleged by someone that reached out to me who was part of organizing the National Guard's Nevada Service Memorial for Garrison. Robert Garrison Brown, which was held in the end of March of 2024. So if you remember on the show, Cody had said that he wanted to bring Garrison home and bury him in the ground. Well, that statement by him was apparently sent to someone that helped organize his memorial and who was privy to the details of the cremation, the service, and the desires of the family, and also knew that the filming at the memorial of the National Guard was something that no one in the family wanted except for Cody, allegedly. So the put him in the ground triggered them and they reached out to me. And so here's all the details about what went down. And this also might explain when McKelty said last year that something had occurred at the funeral that had caused them to pull back from Kody and Robyn and that they no longer support them. And it was behaviors and things that they had done that upset them. And that also why McKelty has said that since the funeral, Cody has not made amends with any of his kids and no one talks to him. In fact, it's gotten worse. So here is what they said went down. So Garrison Brown, if you're familiar, was a member of the Nevada National Guard. And anyone that is an active member of the Guard, when they enter the service, they are offered an opportunity to put together a will, set up a power of attorney, and make sure that anything that they have as far as the military goes is secured and there is a plan in the event that they are deployed and they don't come back alive, or if something happens while they're in service and they die. And so service members have this option to do it when they first join the service or when they go to a deployment. And that's what this person told me. And so in the United States Armed Forces, they have a mortuary services department who coordinates all of the standard funerals or memorials for service members. And they also manage and take care of any of the cremation or burial, along with handling like the 21 gun salute, the honor guard, the memorial service itself, the hosting of the event, and then putting together everything to manage the estate. So service members can have insurance policies, the wills that are provided by the service members to the United States the United States Armed Services is then given to the family so the family knows who is in the will and what happens with the estate. And here's the information on the insurance policies so that they have everything they need to settle the estate. So this person was involved in all of that. And so what they told me might surprise you, or maybe it doesn't, but their alleged allegation, and this is their allegation for entertainment and information purposes only, but I absolutely verified that they work for the United States Armed Services. And I also verified that they were connected to this event. So Garrison's memorial was put together. It was all facilitated. So they have the mortuary services is based out of Virginia. And then they deploy to the various areas where a service member passes away, where they have to put together a funeral. or a memorial service. And they have an opportunity to do like a standard like military service, and then they can have them buried in a military cemetery, or they can do cremation. Families can do private burials. It's really up to the families. And so in this case, they decided based on Garrison's wishes to cremate him, and there was no burial at all done by the military. So when they were at the service, they said the urn from Garrison was released to Janelle and her sons. And during the entire memorial services, it was the urn containing his remains was in the custody and control of Janelle and her sons. And at the service, as it was leading up to the service, news started getting back to the family that Cody wanted to bring in cameras to the National Guard service to film it for TLC. And they allege that one of Janelle's family members, not one of the boys, not one of the siblings, but a family member, reached out to Cody and told Cody in so many words that he should not come to the event, that they did not want cameras at the event, they did not want TLC there, and specifically that Robyn was not to come to the event. Given that Robyn's relationship with Garrison was very strained and Garrison didn't like her at all, they were honoring her wishes as well as family members. This person said there was an underlying sort of mood that Kody and Robyn's behavior and how they treated Garrison and bullied him and targeted him on the show was a contributing factor to his mental health declining because of his sadness of the shunning and the public display of the bullying and just how they treated Garrison. And because Garrison was estranged from both Kody and Robyn, they didn't want them there. Kody, on the other hand, didn't care about that, I guess. And so he was told not to come, and he was apparently told, don't bring Robyn. And so as they were getting everything ready, the hope was that this would not be recorded. The National Guard didn't want it recorded. The family didn't want it recorded. And then at the service, which was held in Nevada, which was technically a public event, Kody shows up with his wife in tow after being asked not to come and not to bring cameras. And he also brought TLC. And so when he arrived, my source said or alleged that the tone in the room completely shifted. Like the mood altered. It was like oxygen fell out of the room. People were upset that Kody was there. And they said that Kody and Robyn and TLC like traipsed in like they were celebrities, show ponies is what they said. And they just had this air that they were like high and mighty and that everyone should just be like glad that they were there. They definitely had this sense that they were better than everyone else. That's their impression and how it was perceived by the bravado that Kody had. And that when they arrived, Kody and Robyn were already mic'd up, ready to film, which caused people to be upset because they didn't want this filmed. They didn't want it filmed specifically because Garrison had reservations, obviously, about being on the show. He didn't like the show. His last text messages were about the show, and they didn't want this to be exploited by Kody. And they didn't want the storyline to be morphed into being about Kody when it should have been about Garrison. So TLC, despite the fact that many people in the family did not want it filmed this memorial. And so when the person found out that Kody said that he put him in the ground, they wanted me to know that if Kody got those ashes, they were not his legally to have. He wouldn't necessarily have been able to bury him because Kody wasn't on Garrison's birth certificate. So on the show, Janelle has stated that Garrison and all the kids were on, that Kody was on all of the birth certificates for the kids. But the person that managed all of this paperwork said Kody was listed nowhere on the birth certificate. So from a legal standpoint, they said Kody was not the father. Kody could say he's the father, but from a legal perspective, he's not considered a father because there's no legal record that he's the parent. There's no paternity test to prove it. He's not on the birth certificate. And when it came to the will, they said that Kody was completely left out of the will. So Garrison had set up a will, and he had made Janelle his power of attorney, and she was in charge of the estate. And Cody was not a part of any of it. He wasn't listed on the insurance policy. He got nothing in the will. And they said that they would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when Cody saw the will and saw his name was nowhere in the will, because there was also this underlying tension that Cody and Robyn were going to try to come for the money. But Garrison took care of that ahead of time, and he ensured that Cody and Robyn got nothing. So I guess that's a silver lining, is that despite the fact that he died so young, he had his final arrangements already pre-planned. So it made it a lot easier for his mother to manage, because she had full control once he died. She was able to be the executor of his estate. She was able to put together and sell his house and close that off. So she was able to take care of anything. And so because when he died and the cremation was done, they said it's a standard service, so the family doesn't have to sit with them to decide what was done. Uh, because Garrison had everything planned out, they were able to take care of it for Garrison. And then once Garrison's ashes and urn are provided to the family, and it's released to Janelle and the sons. And so they said that at the event, Kody and Robyn arrive. The urn is in the custody and control of the sons and Janelle. Nobody talks to Kody and Robyn. Cody and Robyn arrive with TLC, and TLC films it. Now, why was he there with the cameras? This is the most horrific thing. So they said that Cody was at the event because he had a storyline that he needed to film for his show. So if you want to know who runs the TLC show, there's absolutely no question to me after speaking to this person that Cody dictates how the show is run and what the storylines are. And why he's getting such an edit right now is because this is being driven by Cody. He wants a narrative of being a good father. He wants a redemption arc, and he wants to use Garrison's death to show that he's a grieving father. And the storyline was not just that he wanted to be a grieving father, but he wanted to film to show that he was a grieving father and the family was being abusive and awful to his wife. That's what they allege. So he brought Robyn there for drama specifically, not because she wanted to be there, because Robyn hated him too. So he wanted to film and make an example of the family and use it as a way to say, I've been alienated from my son and I've just lost my child and my child is dead and this family is being so awful to my wife, which was why they didn't want them there to begin with. They didn't want this on the show. They didn't want them to be associated with this because Garrison didn't want anything to do with them. And they were trying to honor Garrison's wishes, and they didn't want to like exploit this for Garrison, but Cody decided to exploit it, and there was nothing they could do about it, except for those that refused to like be on camera or that didn't get mic'd up. And because some of the women are under contract, I don't know if they got mic'd up. I didn't ask, but they might have had to have cooperated at that point because Cody showed up with cameras. So apparently, once everything he gets there, they say the era changes. And then once they're there, and they're getting ready to sit down, Cody wanted to sit in the front row with Janelle and sit next to Janelle so that he could get the attention of being the grieving father next to the grieving mother. But he wanted the attention on him. And apparently they said no. And they would not allow Cody to sit next to Janelle. And so they made the decision that Hunter, because he was an officer in the Air Force, would sit in the front next to Janelle, and that Cody and Robyn could sit further down, but no one wanted them in the front row. And then Mary was sitting on the other side of the aisle because Gwendolyn apparently needed someone with her, like she wanted to be consoled by Mary. And so Mary was sitting with Gwendolyn and Bea at the request of Gwendolyn. And I don't know why McKelty and Tony sat on the other side, but I asked about that. They just said that Gwendolyn wanted Mary there with her. So she needed like support. So during the service, they explained that there's a protocol in the military that if a service person dies and they are married, the automatic person that gets the flag is the surviving spouse. When an unmarried service person dies, the automatic person that gets the flag and the medals is the mother. And so even though Cody wasn't legally on the birth certificate, he wouldn't have gotten the medals or the flag anyway. But apparently, he kind of made a scene at the end because he wanted the flag and he wanted the medals. But instead, it was given to Janelle because the standard protocol in the military is the mother gets it. And even if he would have wanted it, he wasn't listed as a next of kin if Janelle would have had deferred to him, but she didn't. So Janelle left with Garrison's medals from the military along with the flag. They said that Janelle's sons were so the three sons of Janelle's, Logan, the surviving, Logan, Hunter, and Gabriel, they described as very polite, very kind, very cooperative, and very protective of their mother. And were very protective of keeping Cody away from Janelle. So when they were sitting kind of in that little clump with Gabriel, Logan, and then Hunter sort of boxing her away from Cody, that was intentional. They didn't want Cody near her. And Cody's entire motive for coming there was not about Garrison. And even while there, the person said that Cody was not acting like a grieving father. When the cameras were on, they said that Cody was like basically trying very hard to squeeze out tears, and so was Robyn, trying to pretend like they were sad, but they weren't at all. Like they said it was all for show because when he came in, it was all about like, I've got a storyline, I've got this thing I need to shoot for my show. Can you imagine? Oh my God. I had a feeling when I saw the pictures that something happened like this, but so they said that once the memorial was done, the urn was given with the remains to the boys and to Janelle, and that again, Cody had no legal rights to it. They said once they left, they can't say how Cody got those, and they don't even know if Cody actually got the actual remains. So they don't know if Garrison is actually buried in Wyoming or not, or if they were given like a portion of the urn or a portion of the remains to Cody. But they were kind of flabbergasted to find out that Cody was talking about burying him because that was not what the plan was when they were working with the family initially. And so they said that after Cody didn't get his way, it's with this specific memorial, they believe that's when the Wyoming thing was concocted so that Cody can have his storyline of being a grieving father on a pilgrimage to bring his son home. But the Cody that's on the television faking grief and Robyn on there pretending like she cares, they said was not what they saw in real life. And the overwhelming sentiment of the family, again, was that they didn't want them there. They wanted to honor Garrison's wishes. They didn't want it exploited for the TV. Many of the siblings were very angry about them. They didn't talk to their dad. Kody and Robyn were there to profit off of it, to exploit it for ratings, and so that Cody could play the grieving father, and so that Robyn could play the abused, horribly mistreated stepmother that is being so shunned and disregarded by the family. But again, the way that they came in, according to this person, was it was like Cody and Robyn were the king and queen, and everyone was supposed to bow down to them. And the family was just like, no, no one, insignificant. And it was obvious to them that they had no relationship whatsoever with anyone in the room. They even went as far as to say that Cody had immediate relatives there with him that refused to talk to him. Like his own relatives wouldn't talk to him because of what he did. So Cody is more concerned about what he can show to you guys on a show versus what the truth is. And I'm sharing this with you, and I'm sharing this because they are concerned about how it's going to be portrayed on the show. They didn't like the way that Cody said he was going to put him in the ground because it's completely disrespectful to what the family wanted for Garrison, along with what Garrison's wishes were. So he had made it clear he wanted to be cremated, and Cody didn't have a right to do that. And so if he did it, it was done through probably coercive methods, manipulation. And Garrison was a service member that deserved to be honored, and he deserved, if he was going to be buried by the military, a proper military burial. And that's not what he got. So a few other details were that they said Mary was so nice. They said they were actually super surprised because of the way that she's portrayed publicly on the show through like Cody and everyone, that she would be mean, but they said Mary was like the nicest one of all of them. and the most friendly. And they said all the kids were really nice. And it was really Kody and Robyn that just were so awful about the whole thing, making it all about themselves. I feel bad because the people that work for the mortuary services and that do this for families of military service people, they take the job so seriously. They want to be so respectful and honor the family, right? They want to make sure that the service member is given the send off that they deserve for the service that they gave to the country and for their sacrifices that they make, and wanting to make sure that they're honored and remembered, and it's done with dignity and with respect. And telling a camera you want to put the service member in the ground after they've actually had a military service, they felt was just utterly disrespectful. Kody and Robyn showing up this way just proves to me that they literally do not care about anyone but themselves. And Robyn showing up in this way when she was specifically asked not to come and she showed up anyway, and Kody bringing her and doing that intentionally despite the wishes of everyone there, knowing that Garrison did not want her there and that Garrison didn't want his dad there, and they showed up anyway. It just shows a complete lack of regard for Garrison in his death. In his life, Kody wasn't allowing him Garrison in his home. And then in his death, he has no respect for the final wishes of what his son wanted, which was that his dad and his stepmom stay away, and that they don't want it filmed. It sounds like a lot of people in this family don't want to be doing this show, and Kody just keeps doing it. And I don't know what the contracts are like, but I feel bad because they believe that Kody is now going to use this to try to create the storyline that the family is abusive to Robyn and that they are so mistreating her and they're so mistreating him and he is being so hurt and he's the victim when it's not the truth. The reason why he wasn't there was because of the damage he causes to the family and his constant need and desire to exploit them, even though he has no relationship with them. The only reason he shows up to do things with them is for a camera, and that's it. He cries for a camera, and that's it. Utterly disconnected from reality and from the children that he created. No relationship with them. That's the truth. So don't fall for it. That's what their message was to me, is don't fall for it. It's not true. So what are your thoughts about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure that you remember this is from their perspective, alleged, and all for your entertainment and educational purposes only. And remember that service people are humans. Garrison's life was a life. This person wants people to remember he was a service member that deserves to be remembered and honored for that reason. And he was a good person, and he didn't deserve this. And that's why they're speaking out. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.